Indeed, what a lovely Monday, and which better way to have a segment right now known as the Good Morning Uganda Extra, discussing issues of tourism. Well, as a country, we know that tourism is one of the sectors that brings in a lot of foreign exchange, something that we crave for. How do we ensure that we reduce on what we import but sell more of what we produce here? Now, what happens in the tourism business is the tourists just come in to visit what we have as a country, and they leave dollars here in our country, so it earns a lot of foreign exchange to our country. And today is what I want to discuss in this extension of Good Morning Uganda. We want to look at an event that is coming up. It's been around for the last 6 years here in Uganda, and known as the Pearl of Africa Tourism Expo 2023. Now, this will be at the Speak Resort Munyonyo, and we'll be running from the 26th to the 29th of this very month. What is it all about? Well, I have the chairman, that is of the Uganda Tourism Board, UTB, Honorable Daudi Migereko. Now, it's not a new name. He's been around so much on the political arena. He's a former minister, former member of parliament, and happens to be the chairman board of UTB. Honorable, you're most welcome to our studios.
Thank you very much, and I must say I'm more than delighted that you could find space for me this morning. I normally find people lining up for appearance in the studio, particularly UBC, because you cover practically the whole country and you have a very good listenership. So I think I'm lucky that I'm here today. But more importantly, to be discussing a very important topic in as far as our tourism industry is concerned. The Pearl of Africa Tourism Expo, which is going to take place between the 26th to the 29th of this month at Speak Resort Munyonyo, as you have clearly pointed out. Thank you for giving us this space so that we can be in a position to reach out to as many people as possible regarding Poate 2023.
Well, I just looked at your attire and I was taken. I love the bit of Chitambi, then of course the other coat. Yeah, yes, you're really a good ambassador.
We have to deliver a message. We have to deliver a message about this expo, but also our brand, our country brand, which is Explore Uganda, the Pearl of Africa, as you can see here. Incidentally, this brand has done incredibly well in different places of the world. So we use it. It has given us a lead in the industry. And now that we have Poate, I have to market the brand. I have to take advantage of the brand. I have to amplify what has been able to set us lately in the different parts of the world.
Now, going direct to Pora, to a person viewing us, of course, this is not a new thing for those that have been so much interested and following affairs in the sector. We've had this for about 6 times now.
Yes.
I stand to be corrected. And one of the things that, just for our viewer, when we talk about Pearl of Africa Tourism Expo, what is entailed? What are we referring to even?
Let me start off by saying that we have major events in the industry. In as far as Ugandan tourism is concerned, the #1 event that brings the whole country together, that brings the whole region together, that brings the whole of Africa together, is Martyrs Day in Munyonyo. Martyrs Day in Namugongo. That's the #1. Experts have indicated that we get upwards of 3 million people coming from different parts of the country, coming from different parts of...
and what is interesting, every other numbers keep on growing.
They keep on growing. And it's for us who are in tourism, it's very important for the industry. But those in politics, it's extremely important for bringing together the people of East Africa, the people of Africa, and it is critical for the integration of the East African region. Now, the number 2 most important event is Powate, the Pearl of Africa Tourism Expo. And this is an event that has been agreed upon by the leadership of the East African community and East African region, because every country has its own day, its own month for hosting this particular event. In other countries, it carries other names. In Rwanda, it is Kwete Zina. In Kenya, it is Magical Kenya. In Tanzania, is Cliff Fair. Incidentally, even in South Africa, there is the Indaba. So the Powate we are organizing is in many ways similar to Magical Kenya in terms of importance, similar to Kwete Zina in Rwanda in terms of importance, similar to Cliff Fair of Tanzania in terms of importance, similar to Indaba of South Africa in terms of importance. So that is the importance of Powate 2023, or Powate events, which we keep on organizing under the leadership of Ministry of Tourism, Ministry of Tourism, Wildlife and Antiquities, under Uganda Tourism Board, and that is what we are going to have in Munyonyo between the 26th to the 29th. It brings together exhibitors from within the tourism exhibitors from within the country, from within the region, from even outside Africa, from even outside our country. It also brings together host buyers. Host buyers, these are people who come from the source markets that we have targeted. And here we have countries like Africa, because about 60% of the tourists we get here are from Africa. So we are going to have host buyers from Kenya, from Tanzania, from Rwanda, from DRC, from Nigeria, from South Africa, because those are source markets for the people who come here as tourists. And we consider their coming here to be very important in that they can be in a position to go back to the source markets and appraise them of the products that we have here, of the readiness that we have worked on in order to be in a position to receive those visitors. Then we have we have host buyers from United Kingdom, from the Germanic-speaking countries, from United States, from Spain, because those are the places that generally bring us tourists, that bring us visitors into the country. Now, when these people get here, they are trying to see what products that Uganda has come up with that they would want to interest their travelers in. What is the state of readiness for us to receive those visitors, the hotels, the roads, the air connectivity within the country, flight arrangements from outside the country, and so on and so forth. But they will also go into areas of investment, because they also represent the international finance and investment markets. So they are trying to look at opportunities that we have here. They are looking at ticketing arrangements. They are looking at tour and travel arrangements. They are trying to look at the agents that we have on the ground and what kind of infrastructure they have to be in a position to handle the business that they bring to the market. So it's one way of networking with the critical actors in the industry, not only within Uganda, East Africa, but all over the world. And to us, we consider that one to be very, very important. Now, the exhibitors who are local, you find the tour and travel companies, you find the tour guides, you find the Uganda Hotel Owners Association and its members, you find people in the ticketing industry who do reservations. All these will be out there, they will be exhibiting, but also we shall be getting clusters. We have the country divided into clusters. Buganda is a cluster. Busoga is another cluster. Northern Uganda is another cluster. Western Uganda is another cluster. And all these will be exhibiting and bringing out to the market, the world, what the regions have to offer from the point of view of tourism. And we think this is a rare opportunity that comes our way in terms of making sure that We create awareness about the products that we have. We create, we create visibility for our products. We bring in people that come to see, who will in turn be in a position to go back and market the country, and also discuss the potential that the country has, but also mark out areas for investment, mark out areas for partnership between our local operators, local stakeholders, and the outside world. So that is the importance of Powate, and we are saying our local business enterprises should be there to exhibit, should be there to hold discussions, should be there to take advantage of the opportunities that are shaded with exhibitions of this nature.
Well, it sounds more or less an ocean of opportunities for people in the tourism sector, because if you have local, international, these in the ticketing, these who are looking for how best to do business, then I'm sure one wouldn't miss. But how does one be part of this? Because we have a number of local people in the tourism industry. One of the areas I greatly see of late that I want to commend Ugandans is their zeal and love for domestic tourism. Previously, we were looking so much on the white man, the foreigner, but almost today, I see a number of people in the tourism business with different packages. You'll hear windy, this, a couple, this amount, friendly, fair, I must say, friendly and not in dollars. Previously, it was dollars, now dollars. Why? But I think you've been able. And I want to thank Uganda Tourism Board, because that was one of the areas you said, why should a Ugandan pay in dollars? And I must say, I've gone to a number of places now where they don't charge a local or a person within an East African community dollars. But let's try to see what milestones, if any, that we can boast of. 6 times you've had this, and you said it could be the second biggest on the tourism calendar of this country. What is there that we can boast of, Honorable, and say, through these Pearl of Africa tourism expos, we've achieved this?
First of all, this Powate is coming at a time when Uganda has had unprecedented publicity and endorsement, courtesy of the brand, the country destination brand, which His Excellency the President launched in January 2022. I can tell you that our country destination brand has been winning awards. It has been sent out, it has been popularized in South Africa, and it came out with major awards, competing with about 3,000 other brands. And we emerged amongst the best 5. We have been competing in France, we've been competing in Spain, we've been competing in Europe, and we've done exceedingly well. The country destination brand has done very, very well. CNN ran its own assessment of tourism destinations. And in their own assessment, Uganda as a country destination is the one tourism destination that everybody must visit come 2023 or in 2023. Now, if you may recall, previously we had a challenge of marketing the country with major international media houses. But now we find that CNN, which is a leading media house in the world, discussing various destinations, and they come out and say, amongst the #1 destinations you must visit if you're a tourist and you're looking for where to go, Uganda is amongst the best, or amongst the top most attractive destinations in the world. Okay. I don't know whether you remember a gentleman called Rob Walker.
He was here.
He was
here when he was analyzing the victory of our athlete, how he talked about Uganda.
And he talked about Uganda, he marketed Uganda, he promoted tourism. He promoted the country destination brand on his own, without the prompting of anyone. And this kind of thing is happening in many countries, in many media houses, in many tourism conferences. The discussion of Destination Uganda, because courtesy of the brand, has been taking place. Now, this poverty comes in at such a time when the whole world has been hearing people discuss how attractive Uganda is. What that means is that this particular poverty, unlike those of the past, comes up at a time when we have places like the Windy, which are celebrated internationally, but previously we are not very famous with the local population. We have places like the game parks, Queen Elizabeth, Murchison Falls, Lake Mbulu, Kibale, and so on. Now, the local population, up until COVID hit us, and hit us badly, and the opportunities for outside travel were restricted or cut off, then Ugandans started taking interest in what Uganda has to offer. Now, ever since the COVID pandemic, and once the lockdown was lifted, we are finding mainly the locals. And we think this is a very good development. Yes, we would like the industry came to zero, but now we are seeing a rebound. The business is coming up again. I think we are now at about 65% levels of what we used to have prior to COVID in 2019. And this is good. But what is even more interesting, that the locals, in particular, are constituting the bulk of the visitors that we are getting in the game parks and other places of touristic attraction in the country.
Well, very interesting there when we get to know that the locals actually are piquing interest. I love the many packages that have been put to support the locals, most of the youth. Honorable today.
I think we must commend Uganda Wildlife Authority, because one of the challenges that we were having in the industry was the cost of going out to visit. The hotels were very expensive. One, they were few in number. The number of hotels that we had available at that time were relatively few. Now, we have seen Ugandans taking advantage of the attractive investment climate which the NRM government has put in place. And they are investing in hotels and lodges. Now, what that has meant is that instead of everybody saying we are going to stay at Mwea, we are going to stay at Chobe, and they cannot afford to pay the charges that are associated with accommodation, with staying in that place. Now we are seeing that practically every category of visitor has been catered for. Uganda Wildlife Authority has created dormitories to take care of students, to take care of people who have limited income but must visit the game parks. There are also international visitors who are backpackers and are not ready to spend a lot of money, just like we, the Ugandans. They have also been catered for. So you find that we have got facilities which are charging 50,000 and are ready to take on visitors or tourists who are coming to areas of touristic attraction. We are seeing people turn their homes into lodges and are ready to take care of the people who are visiting these places. So you can get someone charging as low as 50,000, and there are also those who are charging as much as $400 per night for the visitors who are coming in these areas. So practically every category of tourist is being catered for by our places of touristic attraction. And I must commend Uganda Wildlife Authority for what they have done. I must commend Uganda Wildlife Education Center for what they have done, because they have been able to provide a range of products. They have been able to provide a range of facilities in the country. But I must also commend the government, because these are investment opportunities which our people have tapped into. You have a house, you turn it into a lodge, you turn it into a hotel, and you are catering for tourists, and tourists are providing you with business. Now, even for the people who provide supplies, like vegetables, like beef, like rice, there are opportunities. And because there is competition, in order to be able to supply, the prices are gradually being brought down. Wherever you have competition, the customer will be in a position to partake of the benefits that go or are associated with the competition. And that's where we have been able to see a leveling off of prices downwards to the benefit of our local tourists and the international tourists.
Well, we are still looking at the Pearl of Africa Tourism Expo that will be at Speak Resort Munyonyo from the 26th or 29th of this very month. It is a sea of opportunities in the tourism sector. So everybody there, make sure you're either an exhibitor or you at least you have a stall for you to show what you do, but you're part of this because there is so much that you stand to benefit. Allow me to go for a very short break.
Let me just make one point. The Uganda Wildlife Authority that I'm talking about, Uganda Wildlife Education Center that I'm talking about, and all these hotels that I'm talking about, they will be present in Munyonyo, and they will be in a position to provide information on what they offer when you visit these places of touristic attraction, and the kind of pricing that they offer.
Well, then you can't afford to miss, even if you're not an exhibitor. Go and find out where you can go to, maybe for holidays. You know, of late we are seeing at least reduction of people who go to Dubai just to enjoy the sand, yet leaving so much beauty here in Uganda. I'll return shortly, and I'll still be with my guest, Honorable Daudi Migereko, who is the board chairman of the Uganda Tourism Board. We'll return.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
The Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, under the auspices of the East African Community, will host the 10th East African Petroleum Conference and Exhibition 2023 from the 9th to the 11th of May 2023 at the Kampala Serena Hotel in Uganda. Take full advantage of the investment opportunities in the East African region's vibrant oil and gas sector. To find out more on how to sponsor, exhibit, or attend the 10th EAPCE 23, visit www.eapce23.eac.int.
It's the encounters with our majestic gorillas, the thrill of taking on the falls of the Nile River, the joy of discovering new traditions, and a lot more. Join us at the 2023 Pearl of Africa Tourism Expo from the 26th to the 29th of April at the Commonwealth Resort, Munyonyo. Rediscover our country's uniqueness and see what the tourism sector has in store for you. Visit www.poate.co.ug to secure your spot and get set to learn, network, and explore. The Pearl of Africa Tourism Expo is brought to you by the Uganda Tourism Board in partnership with Competitiveness and Enterprise Development Projects. Explore Uganda, the Pearl of Africa.
Iwakato, this is a quick call. I'm almost out of minutes. Now, the center.
Why rush through such important conversations? Airtel Uganda has made it possible for you to call across all networks in Uganda at the best rates with the new Bona voice bundles. Stay connected anytime, anywhere, with minutes valid for calls on all networks. Dial *100*1#. Select voice bundles and select Bona voice bundles today. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Welcome back from that break. Thank you so much for being with us on UBC TV. This is Good Morning Uganda Extra. In case you've just joined, it is an extension of early morning program, which is Good Morning Uganda. We start off at 6:30, so make it a date with us. There's so much you can't afford to miss. Now, we are still looking at the Pearl of Africa Tourism Expo that will be running from the 26th through the 29th of this very month at the Nyonyintono Peak Resort, where it's going to bring together all people in the tourism sector, both locally, regional, and of course, global as well. So you can't afford to miss being part of this great opportunity as a person in the tourism sector, but even as a Ugandan. Go and find out what is it that the Uganda Wildlife Education Conservation Center, formerly known as the zoo, has to offer. I want to tell you that place has tremendously improved if you've taken so long to go there. Find out. You can even have a beach wedding there. Did you know that? They have a very huge hall in the middle of the lake where you can have a function and so much, but that is only if you go to this expo. Now I have the board chairman of the Uganda Tourism Board, Honorable Daudi Migereko, with whom we are discussing more of this. Now, Honorable, you've just been talking about how this sector has tremendously improved. But one of the things that usually comes to my mind when you talk about tourism in Uganda, good, we now have a brand that we can sell, compared to previously where one would have promo buy. We had so much, but now we have one thing, Explore Uganda.
The Pearl of Africa.
The Pearl of Africa. But when we look at marketing, I've done some bit of traveling within our region here. When you get to Nairobi in Kenya, right from the airport, the way they market the Masai, you know, even when you go to any office, the Masai you can think is their coat of arms or something like that. When you go to Rwanda, the way they are marketing these gorillas that I feel could even be our property. I don't know, but I feel they could even be our property. You know?
Well, I'll not be able to comment on that one. But
you see, now when you come to Uganda, you got the airport, you see telecommunication companies, billboards. One time we had one of the tallest buildings by then, which was this Uganda House, a very big thing, bell lager. Like as if everybody in Uganda is, oh, Uganda, what you have to market is booze. Not attacking the brand, but I'm trying to, you know. So what are we putting in? These expos are good than Namugongo, but in terms of selling Uganda, we must say yes. You talked about CNN, we have our athletes that are doing a great job, but I feel there's something lacking in selling it out there, marketing it even within.
I think you are, in a way you are right. We need to put in more effort in as far as promotion and marketing of our tourism is concerned, both locally and internationally. And this is what we are working on. I think if you visited Entebbe, attempts have been made to bring out what we have to offer from the point of view of touristic attraction as the country. You find billboards about the mountain gorilla. You find the game parks. We find source of the Nile and the River Nile with its attractions. You find Rwenzori and so on and so forth. And we're also running billboards in different parts of the city, at the airport, in the city, and other parts of the country. But I agree we have to step up this one so that we can be in a position to gain greater visibility, so that we can be able to do greater marketing, more marketing than we have been doing hitherto. The challenge has been that for quite some time, up until recently, when people realized that tourism was the leading foreign exchange earner, the attention and the focus on tourism was not to the levels that one would have expected. The attention was marginal. The budget support was practically not there. So the country has only lately started talking tourism. Last week, His Excellency the President took it upon himself to say we can earn a lot more in terms of dollars from tourism than anybody would have ever thought about. Previously, everybody was talking about agriculture, coffee, and so on. But for the first time, the head of state takes of time to say, fellow countrymen, there are opportunities that we must take advantage of. And these opportunities are in the tourism industry.
Just a quick one in relation to that. Now we're talking about marketing, but are these also tourism sites? When we go to the source of the Nile, I stand to be corrected. When I was in primary, we often visited the source of the Nile.
Yes. So did I, right from primary one.
Recently, I said I must visit the source of the Nile. I expected so much change. I found nothing. I usually go under some association of the bikers and visit some of the tourism sites. I love CP Falls. And Honorable, almost annually we do a tour at CP Falls. But you look for that change. And I don't find...
I understand,
you know?
I can understand your concern, and I can tell you we are addressing that concern. Uganda Tourism Board has emphasized the fact that we must improve on our products, we must improve on our tourism sites, we must develop them. Because what happens in tourism is that if you are a tourist and you go to a place called Source of the Nile, you want to spend there as much time as possible. And for us in the industry, the more time you spend in an area, the greater the chances that we shall be able to tap into your pocket. You'll be able to leave us the money, you'll be able to spend on what we are offering there. If you are a tourist and you come with your family, you need a children's park in the area. You need a restaurant. You need a good bar at Source of the Nile, at CP Falls, when you are going to climb Mountain Renzori or Erigon. You need areas that can enable you to have the experience of having visited this place, and you want to share that experience with the people who you told that you are going to visit the Source of the Nile, you are going to CP Falls, you are going to Lake Mbolo, and so on. Now, these are the things we are working on. I can tell you we now have a project that should be taking off any time now, where the Source of the Nile is going to be transformed. We have got the Mahatma Gandhi statute in place, which has an appeal for the Asian community, for the Indian community. It's going to be worked on, and it's going to be given a facelift, and all the supportive infrastructure for attracting tourists is going to be put in place. But we are also developing a glass bridge, so that when you say you are going to the Source of the Nile, you walk on that glass and go to the area where the actual source is supposed to be, and you can be able to take photographs, and you'll be able to see the water coming from underground. You'll be able to see the water coming from Lake Victoria, joining River Nile, and giving River Nile the waters that it moves from Uganda to Sudan, to Egypt, to Alexandria. Now, those are the developments we are now working on. I'm saying you are right, and we appreciate this point. Government has now agreed to give us the necessary resources to work on Source of the Nile, so that when you say you are going to the Source of the Nile, you'll really be able to see the source, you'll be able to spend time at the source, you'll be able to enjoy yourself at the source. Your family will also be in a position to really feel at home at the source, and you'll be in a position to go back and talk about the experience that they have had at the source of River Nile. We are trying to do the same thing for CP Falls. I have received a submission here from the Kapchora local authority on the things that we must work on. And we are trying to identify the resources that will enable us to work on the staircase to and from the falls.
It's very horrible.
The resting area, the bathrooms, and so on and so forth. Now, These are things that render the country's tourism products and sites competitive. And we are saying, if we are talking about a brand which has won awards all over the world, the natural thing to do is to make sure that we address improvement of the sites, development of the sites, so that they can be in a position to meet requisite standards that go with areas of touristic attraction globally. And that's what we are going to do.
Well, I can't wait for that, because why I brought in that, recently my friend went to the source of the Nile, and of course with the modern gadgets these days, people take the selfies and say, oh,
Yes.
you are all like, now, where is the source?
Within a year, with 6 months to a year, it's going to be different.
Okay.
We have also been able to get boats that can give you a good experience
At least that I witnessed.
on the Nile and Lake Victoria. But also the hotels in the area are being improved upon. They are being expanded. Marinas are being developed so that from a hotel, you can go to a marina, you get onto a boat. From a boat on Lake Victoria, River Nile, you get onto the marina, get back into the hotel, and the hotels are being given being equipped with very good facilities, health clubs, swimming pools, and so on, and they appear to be part and parcel of what the source of the Nile can offer. I can tell you 6 months to 1 year, please be my guest at the source of the Nile. I'll make sure that we organize a trip for you around. And I'm saying this to you, but also to my listeners, to those who are viewing this program. Please don't keep away from these places. They are going to be improved. They are being improved upon. They are being redeveloped, and I can tell you they'll be different. And when you get there, you will not be disappointed. Incidentally, this is going to happen to all areas of major touristic attraction in the country. You can see, even when you go to Murchison Falls, the parking area has been improved upon, the staircase has been improved upon. Now, what we are planning to do is to develop a glass bridge so that you can be able to walk over and you see the falls just below you. If you don't have a phobia for heights, you will not have a problem. But even when you have a phobia, mitigations will be put in place such that you don't end up falling sick simply because you have been to Murchison Falls and you have walked on a transparent glass bridge that enables you to see what is taking place down the falls and so on, how the fish keep on being pushed up and down by the water, the crocodiles enjoying which are sunbathing, and so on and so forth. It's going to be different. Give us just a few more months. All these sites are going to be different.
Well, that sounds very interesting. And of course, explore the Pearl of Africa. That will bring more meaning to it when even these sites are well improved. Because I must say, what our tourism industry relies on more is nature, our God-given. We can't talk about some countries like when you talk about the United Arab Emirates, they have those buildings we may not have. The bridges, well, I was traveling and I saw one of our cherished bridges just connecting a village somewhere. So for us, we depend on what God gave us.
No, but it's going to be different. You know, this is the first time that a head of state
Recognizes.
comes out to say our one premium industry is tourism. And I want this to be done. I want to make sure that airstrips that are located in areas of touristic attraction, Civil Aviation Authority, Ministry of Works, you must work on them. I want to make sure that there is internet everywhere in areas of touristic attraction. In the game parks, we must have the mass. We must make sure that the internet is of the requisite capacity so that people can be able to share experiences once they get out there. I want ABCD to be done, and I must thank the President for the directives that he has given to all the critical ministries to ensure that our tourism industry is given an extra boost by making sure that the supportive infrastructure is worked on, is developed to international standards, so that when we get tourists in these areas, they cannot complain about anything.
Well, we wait for that, and we are told very soon it will be, and of course,
it's going to be
what
different,
a
I can
lovely
assure you.
country shall have our sites look at. Now, in the interest of time, well, so much has been said. Let's conclude by letting people know how they can participate in this expo.
The participation in this expo, particularly for exhibitors, has been by registration. The Uganda Tourism Board has a national organizing committee which has been working on the details for participation. We have a portal which has been established, and you register through this portal, you pay a fee, and you'll be given all the details to do with the participation at this expo. In terms of the program, we have the exhibition, we have seminars and workshops, we have meetings of people in the industry. And once you register on this portal, you get all this information. Obviously, for the public who would like to know more, we have been advertising. And the date for public visiting the expo is the 29th. The opening will be on the 26th, and that's where the dignitaries will be. We expect the Right Honourable Speaker of Parliament to grace this opening. We expect ministers, we expect leaders of the industry, we expect prominent personalities, we expect members of Parliament to attend the opening function. But also, people who are interested in industry will be there. Then second day, it will be mainly the workshops, the seminars, and visiting the exhibitions, calling on the exhibitors so that people can be in a position to pick up more information. Now, we are going to make sure that the people who are handling the registration, who are handling the marketing of this particular Powate 23, come out on radio today, tomorrow, and even during the days of the expo, to be in a position to talk about how you can get there, what is going on, whom can you approach in order to be in a position to get the information that you are looking for. This is all going to be taking place in Munyonyo. But for the registration, it is being done digitally. Most of the things have been done digitally.
Definitely.
And the information is available with Uganda Tourism Board. It is being run on TV.
And on your website, I saw that.
Yes.
Just go to the Uganda Tourism Board website, everything is there.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Honorable, for your time. Yes. And of course, thank you so much, our viewers, for being with us. I just want to wish you a lovely day. God willing, see you tomorrow. Let's not miss. The 29th is the day when this expo will be open to the public. So let's go find out who are people in this industry. What are opportunities there? What are the tourist destinations that you can go to? And of course, the cost and everything. You can't afford to miss. See you tomorrow. Have a lovely day for God and my country.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.